Misusing anything powerful ends poorly. Generally, education combined with sensible parameters and often taxation to offset society's duress is the more effective way to curb enthusiasm. However, the war on drugs sure did create and maintain jobs for banner-waving white folks with less than a modicum of education. Back in the 80s, under a young John Roberts' direction, all the law enforcement resources of the federal government, including the FBI, U.S. Marshals Service, the U.S. Customs Service, and the Coast Guard, were going to try and stop our little smuggling endeavor. The locals, the various police departments and their officers that were not themselves crooks, were also getting in on the fun and the fountain of federal dollars that came with it. So small government Republicans were building another giant bureaucracy that would swallow up ungodly amounts of resources and make a national security issue out of drugs. In addition, new funds are being allocated to prison and jail facilities so that the mistake of releasing dangerous criminals because of overcrowded facilities will not occur. John Roberts and Kenneth Starr were shredding the American social fabric, imposing pseudo-1950s homogeneity, the very definition of conservative. They wanted all people outwardly to have the vaunted Calvinistic values of Ivy League upper-class elderly white men, the men that boss them and the men they hope to become. John and Ken were pushing an illusion. They were ignoring the drastic impact of the civil rights movement, the Vietnam years and Watergate, the equal rights agenda, and the conflict imposed by the youthful kaleidoscopic view of the many versus the old Reagan rant of consume, indulge, celebrate, dispose. To say those were times of flux is an understatement.